We can go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. Sorry about the issues with the email. All I was trying to do this morning was every single time we have this meeting, obviously the link for the Teams portion of the call is included in the invite that's sent out via Outlook. That comes through via email. If you delete the email or it gets buried into your pile of spam and otherwise other emails, it can be hard to find the link to be able to get on the call. The link typically is unchanged unless I make changes to the actual call itself. So the link does stay the same, but folks lose the link, or they can't find it, or they don't have access to it, or maybe they're new and they don't have access to the link. So I wanted to send out that update email this morning, mostly so that everyone had a fresh link in a new email that came in, 15 minutes before the meeting started. And lo and behold, to find out, it actually sent out a cancel notification. I apologize. That's not what I intended to do. It was just to get you guys an updated link for the meeting today. So if you were confused, I apologize. Hopefully I've been able to shoot that over to you either via the text I just sent, or I sent out an updated email as well that said, hey, apologies, we're not canceled. We're actually holding this right now. Here's the link. So thank you for jumping on. We've got a couple of topics that we're going to be covering today, but we're actually going to be opening up with a conversation from our admin team and our HR team. So just a brief introduction. We have Z, our CEO, in the room, Regina, our HR director, and Sylvia, our assistant HR director. Is that your official title? Okay. That are in the room, that'll be speaking with you guys today. And so the first slide that we're actually going to be covering for today's meeting, I had actually previously set as our last slide. But they had let me know that they wanted to come and speak this morning, so I've bumped it up to the front. And so without further ado, I'm going to open up. One question I do have: can everyone see the room on the camera? Just need one person to answer.
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Where's yours?
Let me just go first. I can
Oh, sure.
do a quick update. Are you going to talk about MedTech?
I am. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I guess.
But feel free, because I can skip that slide.
Just quick update. We are officially moving out to 10-1 is our official go live. So I don't know if I'm going to send out an official email to all managers. I don't know if that's been sent out yet, but officially 10-1 is our now go live for MedTech. Which that gives us 2 extra months. We're supposed to already have our copy to live here this past week or so. We pushed that back, so that's going to push everything else back. The hope is within the next 2 months, instead of just letting us time to relax, we really work out all the bugs and do a lot more testing. So hopefully when we do go live, it's going to be that much more perfect when we are. There's always going to be issues when we are, but we're going to try to heavily use this time to make sure that it's as perfect as possible. So with that being pushed out to 10-1, I think previous months I talked about the retail pharmacy. Wanted go live on 10-1. Now I don't want both projects to start on the same day. So that will probably delay the retail pharmacy portion that we have going, the moving of urgent care, probably to 11-1 is my right now anticipated. But we'll see with that one. What else is going on? Right now, kind of looking at with volumes and statistics and all that, we are down volume wise year to date, but with overall revenue budget, all that good stuff, we are sitting at where we want to for the end of the year with our profit and loss statement. So basically, if we break even the rest of the year, then we're in a good spot to finish where we budgeted. Now, with that, we're working on our capital and operating budget for fiscal year 25. What that means, so we have to look at our operating budget to determine how much we anticipate on making in revenue. And we use that number to help determine what our capital spend will be going into next year. So that's gonna be work in progress over the next 3 months, but for you guys, if there is any pieces of capital equipment, let Keenan know, so that he can make sure to put that on the list with that. Now, capital equipment is any item that's over $5,000.
Any single item.
So I think when we got the mattresses, they were like, I don't know, like, let's say $2,000 each or something. And we bought, 18 of them. That, came up to 36,000, but that would not be capital since each item is below that $5,000 mark. A couple of the, I think, high items, we're working on trying to get a new TEE machine. Probably revamp our new med. Probably a lot of mechanical plan off stuff that we're working through. So still work in progress. Once we get that official list out, we'll send it all the managers so that we can share what we're working through. But for now, try to come up with those ideas of what you would want to see over on the floor or unit, so that we can try to plan accordingly. What else? We're working on, are you gonna talk about 1803 grant?
So I don't know enough.
Okay.
I don't know enough. Details wise. I know that it's been approved. I know the quantity, the amount, and I know some of the things that are included, but I don't know the detail enough to be comfortable speaking on it.
So we were awarded a 1803 and 1804 grant by the state. So those ones are gonna be allowing us to get basically a program coordinator and also an educator into those positions to help with new grads and also with nursing student training and development. 1803, 1804 is for one of the others. So we're gonna try to focus a lot more on educational aspects here with a state funded program. That has already gone live, so Sylvia's and Regina's working towards trying to get those positions out there posted, and so we can start rocking and rolling with all that. Other grants, we're have a few grant funded programs. One that I'm anticipating getting for next fiscal year is one from a state appropriations grant, which will help us build a new clinic over in Baus. My ask was $2.5 million to build a brand new facility out there. I'm anticipating on getting it, so that'll be exciting when that comes open. Closer here in Parker, we have filled all of our provider roles over in River Health. So now we have five primary care providers as a whole over in River Health, with various start dates here coming up with the 2 new providers.
What age urgent care coming or visit?
We're working on trying to get the new HR building, that should start here in the next couple of weeks, for HR finance business office, centralized scheduling, HIM. So that probably won't be completed until probably March or so, but start work, and that's gonna go behind the physical therapy area down Mojave. You miss anything, Gene?
I don't think so, sir. I was gonna ask one question, just because I can anticipate staff might be thinking about it. Why Baus? Why would we invest in Baus?
Well, we try to focus on all of our areas, and I don't know how many of you guys been to the clinic in Baus. The clinic in Baus is down a side road of a side road of a side road, behind some broken down trailers and literally condemned housing back there. So it's not a place that looks like you'd want to receive medical care with that. So that's the area, and with that is definitely one of the portions. But the other portion is Baus is one of the largest areas that's expanding in the county. So we have a handful of new companies that are coming out there. So you guys might know Roseacre Farms has been over there, but they're opening up a second farm that's supposed to have an additional 250 jobs. There's a new garage door manufacturing company that's going to be out there that's going to be having another 100 jobs. There's a boat manufacturing company that's supposed to add another 100 jobs. Within the next few years, there's supposed to be a mine that goes out there that's supposed to have something like 500 jobs. So that's one of the largest areas of the county that's expanding faster than kind of any other one. So it was easy to show the need to the state where the population is going to be going, and then also the current status of the building that's out there. So a combination of both. And then right now, we're only staffing it with one provider half day a week. And even people who lived in Dallas for many, many years still don't know that we have a clinic out there because of the location. So we did buy frontage road property right along the highway, right next to the post office last year. So very, very good location.
Anything else to cover, sir?
I think that's it. Any
Yeah.
questions for me?
Anyone that has any questions for Z, this is an open opportunity. Anybody's welcome. Fire away. Don't scare them away now.
I appreciate you all the time. And if you guys do, feel free to hop in my office, like always.
Thank you, sir.
Love you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Gonna let Sylvia talk. For whoever doesn't know, Sylvia is the new HR assistant who will take my place when I retire in about 10 years. Joking.
Sounds good. I still have a lot.
Very, very knowledgeable and always willing to help.
All right, so we're here to address some concerns of workplace bullying. Oh, sorry, I have my nose.
Boy, the camera can see you.
Sorry, trying to hide from the camera, I feel like it's like a weird angle. So address some concerns of workplace bullying, verbal and threatening, intimidating behavior that have been brought to our attention. We are here to do a job. We're here to work together as a team. We're here to take care of patients. We should all feel comfortable going to a peer, asking them for help or asking them. I'm a big believer, there is no stupid question. So I should feel comfortable going to someone, asking them a question. That should be the same whether I'm in a clinical role or in a non-clinical role. This should be the standard set across the board. If this is not what you're seeing on your unit, this needs to be reported immediately. If you're feeling that you're going to your peer and they're answering your question rudely, please come to HR or directly to Keenan immediately to report it. We are, again, here to do a job. That is to work together as a team and to take care of these patients. We do not have to be friends outside of work, but we should be able to respect each other and communicate in a respectful manner. There should be no profanity on the unit. There should be emotional intelligence. If there is a high stressful situation and we all don't come into the office, into the unit happy and a positive attitude. If you are having a rough day and you feel like that's going to come off in your tone, take 5 minutes, step away, gather yourself, come back and start your day. Again, emotional intelligence. If you feel like somebody's talking to you rude, step away from that situation, grab a leader, grab your charge nurse, come to HR. Do not reciprocate that tone back to who is in that situation with you. Be able to walk away from that. If you are in a tough situation, again, walk away from that situation. You have all the power to say, I'm going to end this conversation. I'm going to grab my leader, I'm going to grab HR, and we're going to end this conversation. Again, we are here to do a job. We will be assigning education hospital-wide. So this will be on not only on bullying, but also harassment. So this will be hospital-wide education that will be mandatory for everybody to complete in HealthStream. If you guys are having any trouble logging into HealthStream, please reach out to myself or Keenan. We will be able to get you into HealthStream. Again, it will be hospital-wide and it will be mandatory for all to complete. We are here to do a job. We're here to also, with the new leadership coming in, we want this culture to change. We want to be able to work together as a team. We don't want to continue the cycle of bullying. We don't want miscommunication of tones. We want to be able to come here and do a job and be able to leave happy. We are here 10, sometimes 12 hours out of the day. We should be able to come here and work as a team and not come in miserable. So if you're having an issue with somebody on your team up here, please report it and know that it will be addressed. Any questions, concerns?
I've got a couple questions.
Yeah.
I'll obviously give
Yeah.
them an opportunity to ask first.
Is that gonna be extended to, when you say hospital-wide, is administration and doctors and everything?
Yeah, hospital wide. Yeah, so it will be
Great.
all administration physicians that have to complete the education.
Yeah, anybody that steps foot in this building or any building related to La Paz Regional Hospital will be required to complete that education.
Awesome.
To change the culture to be better so that everybody enjoys coming to work and feels like they're valued by their coworkers. And it has to start with our employees. We can't make you change. We can only give you the education and hope that you feel comfortable enough that you want to make sure you're putting off a positive attitude at work. Because without you, we don't have a hospital. So we need to change it. We need to make it a better place to work.
So historically, guys, I personally have handled the majority of these matters internally. And we could go around, whether I did something, didn't do something. Otherwise, the reaction that I had, you felt wasn't enough, or, the person that I had the reaction towards felt it was too much, right? So something I'm changing, when you guys bring something to me that I see as larger than a simple issue that can be resolved between two individuals, that's a simple misunderstanding or something like that. If someone comes to me with a specific complaint about bullying, harassment, or otherwise, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna send it right over to the HR team. Immediately. As soon as you walk in my office and you voice a specific complaint, the next phone call I'm gonna be making is over to HR to share that information. Okay, now, the thing I want you guys to understand and realize is, no, we're not trying to create a fascist state where we're rolling in and every single person has to have a number on their arm and, they have to duck walk exactly the perfect way every single day when they come into the office. No, it's in fact completely the opposite. The goal here is to create an environment where you guys are able to comfortably work together. We get it. We're human beings. We get emotional in certain situations, whether it's with a patient, with a coworker, someone says something that upsets you, you have something bad that happens to you in your personal life. A family member dies, someone close to you dies, you get divorced, you lose a relationship, you have a negative impact at home, you have a parent that's treating you poorly, whatever it might be, those things do ride with us when we come into work. And it's entirely up to us what we decide to take that status of how we're feeling. If you strip everything away from someone, the one thing that all people can control at all times, themselves, and it's their responsibility to do so, is their attitude and outlook. If I take everything from you, everything, no car, no home, you're on the street, the one thing that you still have is your decision to alter your mind and your viewpoint of the situation. It's the only thing that people can't take from us. The only thing. I have no way to enslave your mind, right? It's not possible. I can strip you of your freedoms. I can strip you of everything that you have. And the one thing that you still have as a human being is the ability to control your emotions and your ability to control how you think about a situation and how you conduct yourself, right? I can't take that from you. It's not possible. We don't have the technology to do it yet. That part's kind of a joke, because I'm a nerd. But I want to make it known that if you come to me and you have a specific complaint about bullying, harassment, unprofessional conduct, etc., I'm going to take that information straight to HR every single time. Every single time. The goal here is to have an environment where you guys are able to come in and work together. When you encounter a problem, you're able to work through it on your own, right? And so HR is going to be having this health stream education that's going to be provided for the entire hospital, including myself, okay? For our team lead meetings, we're going to be basically taking the book that I take all of the concepts that I teach during our team leadership educational portions, is typically the first 30 minutes of our meeting. We're going to be reading that book. We're going to be dissecting that book so that I can teach our leaders the skills that they need to be able to analyze human nature, because that's what this book is, right? These are concepts that have been taught since the 1200s, the 1400s, the 1600s, the 1800s, through great leaders and great minds. I'm going to be sharing that with these individuals so that they're stronger and better able to recognize situations as they occur, to handle them as they occur, and to control their own thoughts, control their own reaction to those situations, to be able to build a better environment for you guys to come to work. So, Sylvia. If I'm one of these people that has a harassing type behavior or bullying type behavior, okay, I go through this training and yet I don't change the way I act. And to put it further, I don't think that what I'm doing is wrong in any way, shape, or form. Okay, what's going to happen to me?
Termination. So, we'll take the steps, we'll take the appropriate steps, but if we've taken those appropriate steps, termination is if coaching, documentation, corrective action. If it, depending on the severity of the bullying and the harassment, unpaid leave, suspension, then all could lead up to termination. Again, we're not trying to make this,
A fascist state.
yeah, we want everybody to come to work and be happy to come to work, be in a safe environment to come to work. And it seems like that is just, right now, there's been just too many concerns that it's just high on our list that needs to be addressed. So if this continues, it could lead up to termination. So, we want to address it now. We want to give everybody a warning now. Before it gets to that point, everybody has, like, as Keenan was saying, everybody has that opportunity now. You are aware to change their state of mind.
We practice progressive discipline, but you need to know now that if we need to fire you, we will. If your behavior can't change, or you simply don't see that you're doing something wrong, that's the end result. So we're trying to give you fair warning to change your behavior. Hopefully we don't have to go that route.
I hope that you guys understand the seriousness of the level that we're focusing on this right now. For some of you on the call, I anticipate that you are pissed, angry, upset, because you may feel targeted, or you may feel like you have a target on your back. For some of you, you may feel pissed or angry or upset because you're victim to these things and you feel like nothing's been done. Some of you are confused and you're like, I thought everything was fine. Every time I come to work, I don't really run into any problems. I don't know what these guys are talking about. Everything's pretty chill as far as I'm concerned. Everybody pretty much leaves me alone. Some of you are thinking, oh my God, what kind of place am I working at? They're turning into a fascist state. Okay. Some of you are thinking, thank Christ, things are finally going to turn around and move in the right direction. It's okay to feel that way. Any of those ways. It's okay. The key thing is to understand this is a team. You can't do this by yourself. I can't do this by myself. We have to do this together. Whether you feel like I just want to come to work and I don't want to be friends with anyone, I just want to come in and get my job done and go home. That may be exactly how you feel. But remember, this is a team. Just like any soccer team, any baseball team, any football team, there has to be a dynamic within the team where people do enjoy working together. And that means that in a way, yes, we become friends. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing. It should happen. We have to be able to trust each other. We have to be able to depend on each other. And that's extremely difficult to do if you don't make friends with people. And when you do make friends with people and you earn their trust and you earn their respect and you understand that they're dependable, you start to rely on them. And then when they break that trust, it hurts, just like any other relationship. The relationships that you have with people at work fall under the same rules of human nature that any other relationship in life does. They're based on humility, they're based on dependability, they're based on trust, they're based on support, whether that comes in the form of physical support, emotional support. We have to be able to do this together. We have to. And when we have these blue on blue incidents, and that's what they are, and they're the worst kind of blue on blue incidents. Blue on blue means coalition forces, United States forces shooting each other in the field of action. Typically, it's on accident. But right now, it's not. This isn't on accident. This isn't a unintentional discharge of a firearm at a coworker. And we're talking in a verbal fashion or an emotional fashion, right? These are intentional actions that are being taken between team members. It's disheartening, guys. It hurts me to see this, to see how you treat each other. There's so many more challenges that we can face. So much we can accomplish. So much bigger things that we can do here beyond fighting each other. I want to see us actualize at the top of that pyramid, Maslow's hierarchy. I want to see us get there. And we're not going to get there if this type of behavior continues. And so this is where we are. This is where we are. The goal, like I said, isn't to create a position where I don't like this person, so I'm going to go and take some made up malarkey thing and report them to HR so I can get rid of them. These guys aren't stupid. I'm not stupid. We're going to do an investigation, okay? Especially through HR. They're going to contact multiple people in the department. They're going to ask them for statements. They're going to ask them for specific witness statements about things that individual's seen, right? So when this information comes out, it's not just coming from one person. They're going to be talking to multiple people, okay? Yes, some of it's going to be from my observations as well, but to be quite frank, my observations have very minute impact versus those of people that are witnessing these things happen, okay? So let's do better. Okay? If you need help, if you're an angry person, if you don't like your job here, if every time you walk through the doors into this hospital to take care of a patient, you're thinking to yourself, I hate healthcare. I hate healthcare in the United States. I hate healthcare in this hospital. I hate people. I hate patients. You need help. Mostly, you need a vacation. Trust me. Okay? You need a vacation to start with. But that's not the end of it. Maybe it means you need to change to a different job. Maybe. Best friend of mine from college tried healthcare for 10 years. He finally changed his mind and I asked him why. He said he finally figured out he hates people. Falls right into that category. He hates healthcare and he hates people. He spent 10 years wallowing in doing the same job that he hated to make ends meet, to pay the bills, only to go on one airplane ride and completely changed his life. And now he's in a new career. Sometimes that's what it takes. I don't want to lose you to that, but because I truly believe that there's a part of all of us, there's a reason why we got into healthcare in the first place. A true reason. A reason beyond money, a reason beyond power, a reason beyond knowledge. Comes down to compassion for humankind. To love thy neighbor. That's why. That's why I do this. Why I've always done it. And if that reason isn't there for you, I'll help you. I will help you. The HR team will help you. Yes, it's tough. It's Mojave County, it's La Paz County. It's hard to find different types of jobs. It's hard to find different types of things to do that pay consistently the way that this job does, that functions the way that this job does, that's able to provide a consistent economic basis for you and your family the way that this job does. It's tough. But if you're not in it for the right reasons, or there's a part of you that is screaming, a small child inside of you that is screaming to get out, it's something I can't change. Something I can't change. We can do better. You do better. Anybody have any questions for the HR team? Or for me?
Angela had a question.
Hey, Keenan. I was just curious, whenever, like in the past, travelers never had to be like a part of our meetings because they don't work for the hospital. So out of curiosity, like, is there any way that they could be included in hospital meetings or like department meetings so that they're on the same page?
Yeah, no, one of the things that I do, Angela, and this also goes for the fact that, clearly we have day shift people that are working today that aren't able to be in attendance, right? Just as well. So, obviously to expect them to drop what they're doing on the floor and come in here and listen to the last 20, 30 minutes of our conversation would be difficult for them to pull off, right? The meeting is recorded. And I do take the recorded meeting and I have a YouTube page that I post the meetings on. and I do make them available to every single person. That's part of our email listserv for them to watch. So, so everything, all of the content that's being covered today, you know, your guys' questions that are being asked, everything's being recorded. The slides are being recorded, and I do typically later today, sometime in the afternoon, I'll have that video posted and uploaded so that people can watch it. So, does that answer your question?
Somewhat. I was just curious because, like, even though they're not mandated to like watch or to participate in meetings, being as how like our facility has a ton of travelers, um, I don't know. I just feel like they too, like if you want to change culture, like in the hospital, it should be like you said, hospital wide. So I feel like um they shouldn't be excluded from like mandatory, like, you know, the education that HR is providing to us too. Like, I don't know how traveling works because I've never done it, but I don't know if that's something that they could have in their orientation also.
So for the training aspect, I'm actually gonna let Sylvia answer that question.
So they are gonna have the same training, that our employees have. It is mandatory for them, even though they are categorized as a traveler, they have to have all the same requirements as a new hire employee, to be completed. So they get all the same employee health, the certifications, education, all of that has to be completed the same as a LPRH employee.
So I'll ask your question in a different way, Angela. So if I'm a contracted employee and I step foot in this building, is the expectation for me to take the training that's going to be assigned for all staff?
Yeah.
If I'm a contracted employee of any type? Okay. Does that help answer the question, Angela?
Yes, it does. I just was curious if it's mandatory for them to participate in meetings too, so that they're up to speed on like what's happening on the unit.
So as far as mandatory meetings, it's the mandate of meetings is something that I initially, when I started, I rolled out and I had it to where the expectation for staff was that they could miss a maximum of 2 meetings total over the course of the year. And that anything beyond that would result in counting as absences or would be included on that individual's personal evaluation. I've let that slide. Obviously, we've had other things that have come into focus. And well, I let it slide. Okay, that's on me. But this meeting specifically, to answer your question as directly as possible, I will ensure that all staff members that are part of our department specifically watch the video or have had an opportunity to attend. And what I will do is similar to what I did when we had the state roll through with some statutes that we had been in violation of. This is the last time that I think the state was here. And I had to circulate around a sign-off sheet that each person had read the policy changes and received the education on the policy changes that were made. I'll do the same for this meeting as well. Does that help answer the question more directly?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. This is your guys' opportunity to speak up. Like I always say, it's your opportunity to speak up, to share dissenting opinions, right? True leaders have to be able to have other individuals on their team come to them and point out shortfalls, like Angela just brought up. A perfect example. Hey, I want to make sure that everyone has a chance to watch this. It's important, right? It's important that everybody gets to see this. What are you going to do to make sure that happens? Okay. Challenge me. Challenge the HR team. Challenge these concepts. If you feel you need to, it's okay. If you don't feel comfortable asking a question right now, you feel that it would be better addressed with me directly, that's also okay. Or with the HR team directly, without my knowledge. Totally fine. So if there's burning questions in your heart right now, or your mind, or burning emotions, right? Something you feel you need to get off your chest, but you don't feel like right now is the right moment. You can text me or call me after the meeting. You can call HR after the meeting. You can come down here and speak to them. You can come down here and speak to me. I'll be here until 3 o'clock today, my typical time. Okay. HR, you guys will be here till 4. Okay. HR is gonna be in the building until 4 o'clock today. So if there's something you feel that you need to share or ask, a concern that you have, and in front of your peers doesn't feel like the right time or opportunity, reach out to us after the meeting. That's totally appropriate as well.
Please know that our doors are always open. So if you just want to come say hi, want to share a concern, please do so. You don't have to internalize it. You can come and talk with us. You know, you all have access to our emails and our phones, so please feel free to give us a call, drop by, send us an email.
You can come to HR for any questions. You have payroll questions, anything that we can help you with. That's our job, is to help you make life be better for you at work.
You can email them at any time. You can call them at any time, whether you're at work or not. They're here. They're ready to listen. I know you're off next Monday.
When, Regina and I are both off Monday, or we'll be checking our emails remotely. We're at a conference, so, but we'll be back in office on Thursday.
So they'll be out of office from Monday to Thursday next week. But they will still be checking their work emails. And, you know, I'm sure, I don't know, I can't speak for you. If there was something critical enough,
Yeah, if there's something critical, you send me an email and then I'll give you my cell phone number. So please, you know, I don't have my cell phone on my card, but if you need to speak with me, I will gladly give you my personal cell phone number. And then we can chat.
We try to be available at all times.
I'll give about another 2 minute kind of moment of silence here. If anyone has anything they want to share, speak up, or questions. And then we'll move on to kind of the final portions of today's meeting. Just a couple of quick topics that we're going to cover. I'm going to breeze through them pretty quick. All right, so the last couple of things we're gonna go over, Z did cover the adjustment of the start date for Meditech to 10/1. Effectively, our charting portion is ready to go. If we went live today, we'd be ready to go. That being said, in the meantime, because we have this extra time, I'm effectively just working on what's called quality of life improvements right now. The way Z said it was, We're trying to make things more perfect for before we go live with this thing. Thank you both. I appreciate you coming in, attending. Thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
So I'm working on those quality of life improvements right now. The goal being that when we do go live with this thing, we have the majority of the kinks worked out. And so we don't have any major issues that we run into. And so that the system's performing its best, working for you on your behalf. We covered this topic during the last meeting. This is the second time I'm covering this, and this is the last time I'm covering this before write-ups start. So this is notice. I don't want to see people clustering at the nurse's station. If I see it, you're going to get written up. That's simple. When you get here in the morning, you huddle. When you're done with huddle, my expectation is that you take report at the bedside. As a nurse, as an LPN, as a CNA, as a PCT. When you're done taking report, the expectation is that you grab your WOW, you park it down the hallway that the majority of the patients that you're taking care of are down. If you park your WOW at the nurse's station, you will be written up. Now, if you grab your WOW and you come over and you got to grab some meds and then you kind of start a conversation about a discharge and your WOW's parked right there and you're briefly having a conversation with the charge about an issue that you had, okay, let's be honest, folks. It's not what I'm talking about here. If I walk by and your WOW is parked at the nurse's station, plugged in, you're kicked back in your chair, working on your documentation, you're going to get written up. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see you with your WOW down the hallway near the patients that you're taking care of. That's simple. I don't really think there's any questions to ask on that. Because we've been afforded additional time for Meditech, it means we have more time for training. It means we have more time for MedPower training. It also means that we're going to schedule another in-person end user training. Okay. The goal is to have an opportunity for you guys to be as familiar with this program before it goes live as possible. The first time we did end user training, we had 4 or 5 people attend. First time we did super user training, we had 4 or 5 people attend. We have a team of about 30 people. We've hit about 10. So we're at about a third of the people that are in our department have had an opportunity to see and navigate through at least some parts of Meditech. Okay. Some of you do have a history with Meditech. You've used it before. Okay. That's awesome. You're going to play an excellent role in the rollout of this because you're going to have some familiarity with the ins and outs of the program that even I'm probably not privy to yet. Okay. Which is exceptional. Sets you off to be in a very positive position as we roll this thing out and move forwards. So there will be further announcements on in-person end user training coming up. And if you haven't yet had a chance to complete your MedPower training, now's the time. Now's the time to get that knocked out. Questions on MedPower training and Meditech training?
Hey, Keenan, this is kind of a personal thing. It's Angela. I was curious if you were able to talk to Lara about the difference between the ER charting and the med-surg charting for me.
So I have, and my understanding is that the videos that cover those sections aren't really that different.
Okay.
So the MedPower, so when we do the end user training, I will definitely be sharing the end user training dates that we're going to be getting together to cover that content. That you're definitely going to want to attend because it's specifically geared towards PCS, which is the our documentation for MedSearch and ICU. The Med Power training portion, all the modules, the majority, if not all of the content for that, which I believe you've already completed, if I remember correctly. And if you haven't, that's okay. It's the same that everyone that is a nurse is getting. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Can you, are you gonna know when the in-person thing is before the next schedule comes out?
I don't know. I think we're going to be talking about it today. So, and if the Meditech team doesn't bring it up, I'm going to bring it up today when we have that conversation. So
Okay, just so I can try and get that day off so I can be there.
that way we can game plan. So yeah, so we can coordinate so people have an opportunity to come and sit and learn.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hi, Keenan. I also have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because as a traveler that is extending, um, so should I go to that face-to-face training with Meditech as well?
Yes, every single person that's going to be here for go live or thereafter is going to, so basically I'll send out an email to the whole team and say, hey, these are the dates that we're going to be doing the training. You know, and of course, when we build out the schedule, I mean, ideally, they tell me what the dates are before I build out the next schedule. Chances are we'll see. I may have to do some finagling on the schedule when it comes to the end user training. As far as shuffling things around, so people that haven't had a chance do have a chance to come to end user training. But I will keep it in mind, Ferlin.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. We're on roundtable, folks. This is an opportunity to bring up any topic. I know we covered some heavy stuff today. So again, if you want to talk about that, we can. If there's a different item that you want to address, now's the time. And I'll give a couple of minutes. Also, if anybody's typing questions in the chat, I haven't looked. I apologize. I'm going to take a glance right now. Tammy, you had asked, do we get paid for attending these meetings? Absolutely. If you haven't clocked in, if you haven't already clocked in for the meeting, you do get paid for the duration of the meeting time. So when you do clock it in, make sure that you are clocking in. Not typically when you're doing a punch, you're going to go through the web timesheet read only. In this instance, you're just going to go to web timesheet and you're going to add hours. You want to add in education hours for today's time.
Thank you.
No problem. Now, I apologize. When I've got the PowerPoint slide pulled up like that, it minimizes out the team setting, so I can't see the chat. So I apologize if you guys are trying to, like Angela, you were trying to ask me a question before, and I didn't see that. So if you do put something in the chat, just, you know, you can also shoot me a text during the meeting as well. I've got my phone sitting right next to me too, so. So kind of put a cap on things here. I want you guys to understand that the topics that we covered today surrounding bullying, harassment, professional conduct, emotional intelligence, HR's involvement. I brought up the concept of a fascist state. And what do I really mean? I mean fear. I want you guys to understand that this is not about trying to strike fear into your heart, that you need to be afraid for your job, that you need to be, afraid that people are coming after you, or that your team members are going to throw you under the bus, and that you're, just going to be tossed to the side out of fear. This is about respect, not fear. This is about basic human respect. And if you're conducting yourself in a professional fashion and the actions that you take on a daily basis are of a professional facet, you have nothing to worry about. And honestly, that's the majority of people most of the time, every day. For the most part, we get along fine. For the most part, we do what we need to take care of our patients. But the instances where we take it upon ourselves and we let our ego get in the way, and we run our mouths, we undermine each other, we start to step away from the concept of respect. I want you to remember, this is an ecosystem. Just like the ecosystem of the ocean, just like the ecosystem of the earth, everything must be in balance. There must be balance in this team. That balance comes in the form of respect, basic respect for others. There are times where a person that is normally very stoic, doesn't share much emotions, keeps a level head at all times, can lose their head. It can happen. Can say something they don't mean. But they also do the right thing afterwards, and they come back to the person that they lost their head on, and they apologize. Formally. They handle the situation with poise. They rectify the issue. And chances are that what they actually did isn't unforgivable. For the most part, people typically understand. But when it comes to losing overall respect for your peers, treating them like they're nothing, treating them like they don't belong here, that's unforgivable. That's unforgivable. I hope the topics we've covered today give you guys something to think about, something to ponder through the weekend, through the rest of the day, for the next 5 minutes, who knows? And most of all, I hope you guys have a good weekend. Thank you for being here today. I will upload today's meeting to YouTube as I normally do. I will share the email. And for Angela's question, I will be sharing a sign-off sheet for today's email for those that were not able to attend either in person or via the Teams call to ensure that everyone has watched today's meeting, understands the topics that have been covered, including contracted staff. Take it easy, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, you too.
Have a good weekend.